That's a tough shot when you don't have the backboard for support and you're from that sideline. Not always an easy one to put through.
So early in the shot clock, Edmond could have kicked that one out, got something better, potentially going to the basket.
Angel Golden played well by Thornton. Only 8 to shoot. Here's Walker off the pick. Walker has space, double clutches. Bryant pulls in her second rebound already this half. She has 7 already, fresh off a double-double. On the other end is Thornton drawing contact, and she goes to the free throw line. Smart play there by Thornton as she draws a foul on Angel Golden. That's clearly the strategy early here for Coach Ty Grace. Whoever Golden is guarding, you want to attack her and try to get her in further foul trouble.
Certainly, get her out the game if you can. She has 2. Go at her and force her to foul you.
As Thornton got the free throw to go. Now with the third foul, Golden will stay in. And one more coming here for Jayla Thornton. Gets them both. Good start for Thornton. First in the conference in free throw percentage at 85%. 33-22, back to 11, equaling the biggest lead so far for Howard. Those first points, I think, were really important for Howard. You want to be the team to strike first here in the second half.
Jump on the ball early.
Again, getting to the rim is Walker, and right there was Bryant. Last touch by Amani.
Great defense by Edmond right there not to bring her arms down and foul, because that would have been pretty much a wide open layup. There was no help on the backside to stop Walker from scoring.
9 seconds to shoot. Walker to inbound, her team down by 11. To the corner. Now with 6. I don't know if Bethune-Cookman realizes it. And a travel is called on Brown.
See this Bethune-Cookman team kind of not rising to the occasion with their star, Angel Golden, having to go to the bench with her 3rd personal foul.
Jasmine Brown is their second leading scorer, 10 points per game. They're going to probably try to look to her in this second half with Golden on the bench. Here's Edmond playing confidently from the left elbow. Sarah Edmond the bucket.
It's a tough pull-up jumper right there. Sized her up a little bit and got to her sweet spot and knocked it down.
The 5'9 junior approaching double figures. Her team is up by 13, their biggest lead of the game. Ball to the post. Up and under, and drawing the foul is Brown as she went to work on Bryant. They're going to say the foul's on Asia McCants. A bit undersized compared to Jasmine Brown, 5'8 against 6 foot. Now Brown shooting 59% this year from the free throw line. Kind bounce in the first one. Their leader as a senior. Efficient, the best field goal percentage in the MEAC. One of a couple dynamic seniors on this Bethune-Cookman team. It's a roster built to compete this year. The second is missed, and the official gets Brown for coming in too early.
And Brown hasn't scored. I'm sorry, she scored her first point of the game just now at the free throw line, but she's averaging around 10 a game, so she has not yet heated up either.
A lot of credit, I think, there goes to Bryant. She's played such great post defense today. Over to Edmond. Against a 2-3 zone, and a travel is called on Williams. She knew it.
She didn't react. She knew she traveled right there. It's okay. Feet got a little bit happy on that one.
Bethune-Cookman trying to get the motor started here. Just a point in the second half, down by 12. Again, getting some room, gliding through the air. It's blocked by Williams, and a foul is called. Armani Walker is getting to the rim, but the post defense for Howard's been fantastic.
They haven't been fouling on the shots necessarily. That foul right there was away from the ball. But Bethune-Cookman does a good job of faking the handoffs. You think that Walker is going to pass the ball, and then she ends up getting to the basket.
That is foul number 3 on Williams, so she has 3. Angel Golden for Bethune-Cookman has 3. And into the game is Tariah Johnson. Quick cut down low, good little spin move. Just been that kind of day, though, for Bethune-Cookman. Here comes Edmond. Edmond feeding Bryant. Not quite over Brown. She gets a steal. On the other end, it's the Wildcats creating spaces. Harris. No good. Rebound tapped. It'll stay here with the Wildcats.
Out of bounds.
That's the first back and forth play we've really seen since maybe the entire game.
Yeah, because Howard has controlled the pace pretty much so far, so they've been going back and forth here in this second half of play. If Edmonds' head was on the swivel right there, she could have potentially gotten that steal.
The hot hand White misfiring. She's in double figures. Then the steal. White recovered and picked it off. Now Harris, the freshman, will reset. Well done by White. Didn't get discouraged off the miss. Stayed in it and picked the ball off. Now it's Scott. Little give and go. Right-handed shot is missed by Brown. Bryant right there to stymie the second effort.
Not only is Bryant playing excellent defense, you can hear her from out here calling out those screens for her teammates. That's great effort on the floor by Bryant.
Johnson was down there as well, and a foul is called. It's an offensive foul on Bryant.
I might have spoke her up too much right there.
That's the third now on Bryant. So Bryant has 3, Williams has 3. 6:21 left to go in this third quarter. Bryant will stay on the floor. Coach Ty Gray showing confidence in her junior post player. Remember, Chrislyn Marsh, the freshman, usually starts. Slight injury from practice, is out today. Here's Harris, 8 to shoot. Calls for the ball screen. Goes into it. Pulls up from the free throw line. Rebound gathered by Johnson. Little space. Edmond. Bryant, the offensive board, with the left hand. Amani Bryant, the second chance point.
Bryant is getting it done on both ends, as I called out before. Calling out those screens nice and loud for her teammates to hear so they won't get rocked by one of them. But also having those big hands for her teammates to see her so she can get the easy layup on the other end. And now she'll take a well-deserved seat.
Amani Bryant, 6 points, 9 rebounds, going for a second straight double-double. Takes some time out with 3 fouls. Her and Ayanna Williams have really been both the spark plugs offensively and defensively today.
They have, and credit both of them for just knowing that we have a player in Marsh that's out, but we're going to continue to do our jobs and make sure our Bison team comes up and shows up to play.
Just 1 point in the second half so far for Bethune-Cookman, as that one swatted out of bounds by Asia McCants.
Howard does average about 4.7 blocks per game, so no surprise that they're getting those long arms in there and meeting people at the rim with those block shots.
The story today has been the Howard defensive effort against a team that shoots the basketball so well. One of the better scoring teams in the conference, and Howard has just risen to the challenge today.
Howard has really done their homework on this team.
Here's White, now to the corner. The 3 is missed by Harris. The putback is not. That's Scott with the bucket. Scott's first 2 points today, their third leading scorer. Now Edmond to the right side, a foul away from the basketball. It's going to go against Bethune-Cookman. An immediate timeout, our first break of the half. The good defense continues for Howard. Only 3 points for the Wildcats so far in this third quarter. Bison on top, 37-25 on the Bison Sports Network. Big January for the Howard Bison men's team. They take on Bethune-Cookman later on today. Stick with us for that game. Then home against Morgan State in a couple of days. They'll be off and out of D.C. next weekend. They'll be on the road. They take on Harvard Monday, January 21st. Delaware State on the 26th. Then Maryland Eastern Shore, a team they did well against this past week, on the 28th. So a chance for Howard, the men's team, to really make some progress in that MEAC conference this month. Women's team as well.
They do, and they also have a rare non-conference game in there against Harvard. You don't see that too often, so that'll be a game where they'll be able to focus on continuing to get better as a team, where winning and losing isn't necessarily the biggest concern, although you always want to win. But if not, you don't take it too harshly to heart because it's not a conference game.
Bethune-Cookman, best shooting team in the MEAC, 1 for 12 in this third quarter. And a lot of it's been the Howard defense. As Angel Golden with 3 fouls is back into the corner. Edmond's got space, got it in the foul. Sarah Edmond, a chance for the 4-point play.
The junior is heating up. Vanessa went to her 2-3 zone, and Edmond made them pay.
Edmond now 13 points, 3 threes. She has such a smooth release, and that is a perfect shot.
Very smooth release. She's calm, lets it fly, doesn't rush her shot too often. Very poised player all around.
Armani Walker now has 3 fouls. She'll check out. So Walker with 3, Golden with 3 for Bethune-Cookman. As the free throw is rimmed off. Ayanna Williams with 3 and Amani Bryant with 3 for Howard. Wildcats trying to get something going offensively. They've got Golden in the game with just 5 points. The ball goes down low. Into McCants in scoring.
You can see McCants just got stuck behind her on that play. She's a little undersized compared to Brown.
Yeah, Jasmine Brown, their second leading scorer, gets the bucket. On the other end, Thornton for 3. It's short. Rebound Harris. Wildcats want to push. 3-on-3. Harris takes it herself and scores. A quick 4-point run for the Wildcats, now down by 11.
Thornton's shot actually led to that fast break opportunity for the Wildcats. She let it go kind of soon, and long shots equals a long rebound, which equals 2 points on the other end.
With an extended 2-3 zone. 3 from the corner, Thornton. That's 3 straight misses, and here comes the Wildcats, a 4-0 run.
This is where the discipline has to come in by Howard. Am I going to slow the basketball down and go back to what is working? Just because Bethune is in a 2-3 zone, it doesn't mean you have to jack the threes relatively quickly. They can still run their offense and get what they're looking for, but it's going to take patience.
And you can tell that Bethune-Cookman is looking down low now. They're trying to get Jasmine Brown involved, especially without Amani Bryant in the game.
They're trying to exploit mismatches down low, and posting up really big. And I don't blame them. Outside shooting's not working. They have to go to the next option, which is getting it down low.
Another easy bucket. This one again is Brown. She has 5. And the lead is down to 9. That was the lead at halftime for Howard. Edmond trying to draw contact. Good defense. It goes out of bounds. Edmond perplexed. She thought she was fouled.
Bethune-Cookman is starting to speed up the play of the Bisons. Right there, pull it back out. Edmonds is a great scorer, and she's smart enough to know that on that play, reverse the basketball and try to get something going to the basket.
Golden had some room. Weak side rebound. Put back, no, but a foul. And Brown to the free throw line. It's been Jasmine Brown, who's really taken over these past couple minutes. Fouls on Moore. That's her first. The 4th on Howard. And now Brown shooting about 60%.
Brown is really showing her presence down low and trying to take over this basketball game. Golden's not scoring. Brown is saying, okay, I'll pick up where she's lacking at. Although she's not the best from shooting from the stripe, she's still getting it done with her post presence.
Coach Ty Grace counters with Amani Bryant. As Brown splits a pair. A 7-0 run for Bethune-Cookman. Lead down to 8, the closest it's been since the first half. Bounce pass to the paint. Edmond gathers and scores. That is a perfectly run play.
And these are the runs that I was talking about at halftime, Ryan. The runs are going to happen. How are you going to sustain those runs determines what type of team that you want to be come the end of this game.
Turnover. It'll be Howard basketball. Edmond now has 15 points, 1 below her season average. Been nice seeing her aggressive play. 1 for 8 against Maryland Eastern Shore. She's come back with 6 field goals today. Bryant looking down low. Ball goes to Tariah Johnson. Johnson. Now Edmond with 13 to shoot. Bryant tries to clear and give her some space. Edmond crossing over. Edmond draining the triple. Sarah Edmond is cooking here in the third quarter.
Edmond said, give me the ball and move out the way. Let me work when the shot clock gets late. That's a great three-pointer right there by Edmond to give her 18 points on the afternoon.
5 straight for Edmond. Bison back up by 13. Harris. Now White. The leading scorer for Bethune-Cookman. Open from the right baseline is Scott. She won't miss that one as she stems the tide. 90 seconds left. Bison trying to build on an 11-point lead. They're 1-1 in conference. Big home game here for Howard. Up against one of the best teams in the MEAC. The runner is off. Bryant, the tap, got lucky. Didn't pick up that 4th foul there.
Yeah, she has to be careful right there. She could have got an over-the-back called on her by the referees, but luckily they just kind of let that one play on.
Brown threw a fastball to Scott from 3 feet away. Turnover. Edmond, the fancy move. Stolen by Johnson. Waved off a foul on the ground. And that is a huge call as it goes on Angel Golden, her 4th.
Johnson did a good job of sticking with the play on that last possession. And it is on Golden, so that is her 4th. Probably have to take a seat shortly.
And foul troubles have hampered Golden. Open look from Gia Thorpe is rimmed down. And a foul now called on Howard. That's on Moore. It's the 5th foul, so that equals 2 free throws.
Moore is actually just a really aggressive player. Her nickname is actually the rebounder. Isn't that quite funny? So seems like that's what she was trying to do that last play. A little too aggressive on that one.
Very fitting rebound nickname for the rebounder. Moore, the sophomore from Mount Vernon. Could be nicknamed shooter as well. She's shooting 44% from the field at home, but known for her post play.
Versatile post presence. That's what Coach Ty Grace has a lot of. Just long, lengthy players who can play pretty much inside out if they choose to.
Second free throw hit by Brown. She is 3 for 6 in a couple trips to the free throw line in this third quarter. Lead back to 10 for Howard. Sarah Edmond has been their spark plug in the third. They led by 9 at halftime. Edmond with 18 goes to work. Looking for Bryant. Read well by Bethune-Cookman. On the other end is Harris. Harris nice into the defense. Edmond with the loose ball pickup. And a foul is called, and that means 2 free throws for Sarah Edmond, where she's 80% from on the year.
That's the way to get the ball back if you're Edmond. She had an error, but she got back on defense right away and got it back for her team. Now going to shoot a pair. Can potentially get 20 points on the afternoon in the third quarter.
Sarah Edmond was leading the MEAC in points in the non-conference season.
I think this is the game that she kind of needed to get going.
Absolutely. Against a good team. Edmond, a bit of a slow start to MEAC play, but she's had a really good afternoon, particularly here in the third. She has been the catalyst for her team. Ayanna Williams on the bench with 3 fouls. Edmond has taken over. It's tough to find a better guard trio than Howard has in the conference when you got Edmond, Williams, and Jayla Thornton, all very good.
They are, and they all complement each other very well. Know where to find each other on the floor and where one another is going to be.
Scott gets up the floor Layup was missed by Brown. Scott, the putback is no good. Brown gets the ball and scores. Jasmine Brown now with 8. Lead back to 10.
Seems as though Bethune-Cookman is now killing on the offensive boards, and you want to limit that in going into the fourth quarter where Howard has a 10-point lead.
Edmond will fire the 3 and got it. Sarah Edmond, an incredible third quarter, capped by a triple just before the buzzer expires to put her team up by 13. Howard on top, 50-37 on the Bison Sports Network.
One of the main reasons I did decide to join the registry is because the lack of African American representation on the registry. It's our responsibility to register. This is something that we can control. You can do this. Think about if it was your child.
Howard on top, 50-37 against Bethune-Cookman behind the play of Sarah Edmond. What a third quarter for her. Really just an impressive all-around performance.
And she's projected to be on the All-MEAC second team, and she showed up in this second half. And those are the halves that Howard has to have in order to continue their impressive play. They didn't lack off in that third quarter, so they kind of broke that cycle. So let's see how they are going into the fourth quarter as they're up 13.
Howard shooting 35%, Bethune-Cookman, the top shooting team of the conference, just 30%. And I feel like it's not really the play of Bethune-Cookman, it's been the defense of Howard that's really put pressure on them.
Absolutely. Great defense leads to offense, and at one point Bethune-Cookman did speed up Howard a little bit, but they managed to continue to regain their poise in the half court, and I think that's been pretty impressive about them because they're not particularly a half court team, but they've handled the adjustments that Bethune-Cookman has thrown at them defensively, from going to a man to a zone. They're just showing a lot, and Howard has been able to manage that.
Angel Golden playing with 4 fouls, just 5 points. We'll see how Coach Blair Lewis handles her in the fourth quarter. Right now, she is starting the quarter on the bench. And how about Sarah Edmond? 23 points. She scored 15 points in that third quarter, including a big 3 to cap it off. So Howard on top, trying to close things out. One more quarter to go. Hoping to go to 2-1 in MEAC play. Up 50-37 and an early turnover from Bethune-Cookman. Turnover number 16 for the Wildcats. Edmond. Bryant calling for it. And a foul is called down low on the Wildcats. Takira, I interrupted you. You were going to say?
The whole team is in tune, from the bench to the players on the floor. When you have the team in tune like that, it just makes you feel good about the type of play that you're presenting on the floor. So great job to Howard to have everybody in tune and in sync in today's game.
Amani Bryant, and a timeout called by Coach Ty Grace. I think when she saw Bryant down low in trouble, she immediately tried to call timeout, not thinking that Bryant would get it out of there. The 30-second timeout, Bison on top, 50-37. And they're trying to move to 2-1 this year in MEAC play. And this was one of the games you circled. The Bethune-Cookman, a favorite to win the conference. You're at home early on. You want to set the pace for the rest of the conference season. And right now, Howard has performed what we were hoping they would do coming in.
And this is a great statement game. You have one of your top performers, Marsh, sitting on the bench, but credit Bryant. She's come in, she's done a great job for Howard, and that's where Coach Grace's team has the upper hand. Strength in numbers, I think, will be important for them in this conference season. If you have the bench doing a great job, then you have your starters playing well. That's a recipe for success.
Yeah, that's an important point to make. The freshman Marsh, who's been averaging over 10 points, nearly a double-double. She's having an incredible freshman season, is out with an injury today. The Bison are thin down low. Amani Bryant has done a solid job, 3 fouls, but hasn't been in too big a foul trouble throughout this game. And their post defense, even without Marsh, has been very good.
Yes, they've been bodying up with players. Bryant has been very physical. You have Moore in the inside who's also been showing that physical play and just trying to get stops by all means necessary, and they're very in tuned on defense.
9:34 left. Howard on top by 13. They've led this entire second half. They're down 12-6 after the first 5 or 6 minutes, and since then they've really controlled this game. And now they try to put off the finishing touch. Still a long way to go against a good offensive team. Bryant missed it. Rebound, Bethune-Cookman. Tania White, quite second half. She is in double figures, though. Scott, down low. Brown has been the target for the Wildcats. Missed it. Bryant battles for the rebound. Jump ball's a call. Howard basketball.
Smart play by Bryant with those 3 fouls. She didn't want to pick up her 4th right there. She continues to show her hands, and I think that's why she hasn't yet picked up a 4th foul. She's playing very solid on defense.
Speaking of 3 fouls, Ayanna Williams is back in. She had that great first half. How much is that on your mind as a player when you do have 3 fouls, say in the third quarter or maybe the early fourth? How do you balance aggressiveness with playing smart?
That's the thing. You want to play smart, and at the same time, you don't want to be overly aggressive. Fouls can kind of take you out the game a little bit, mentally. You want to continue to play, but at the same time, you know that you just have to be smarter on the defensive end.
Something I struggle with, I think, in rec ball is when I get in the hacking mood, I just want to foul all the time. But smart players like you got to back off a little bit.
You do, especially a player like Ayanna Williams. She likes to push it in transition. So another thing that she would have to watch out for is not overdoing it and potentially picking up an offensive foul when she gets a fast break opportunity.
Quick feed to Moore underneath. Nice move from Moore, the sophomore with the bucket. Kirsten Moore having a nice afternoon off the bench. A 15-point lead for Howard, and now we're at kind of the do-or-die moment, I think, for Bethune-Cookman. They need to start putting a couple points together, otherwise Howard's in great shape. Nice steal by Bryant.
Bryant has her hands all over this game. Steals, great defense. I credit her a lot. And that feed.
Good find from Edmond. Moore maybe a little too open on that right block.
Look, there's no such thing as too open. Moore has to put the ball in the basket on that one. That's a great find from Sarah Edmond. But you see, she automatically dapped her teammate up, told her it's okay. It happens, but you better make the next one that I get to you.
Kirsten Moore has played a lot of minutes over the past couple games. Really impressive off the bench. Here's Williams. Open Edmond. In and out. Lucky bounce to her teammate. That one's no good. And a foul is called on Brown going for the rebound. That might be number 4. Yep. Jasmine Brown has 4 fouls. She'll stay out there. Ayanna Williams getting to the paint. Rebound pulled down by Fitzgerald Greer. Put back is missed. Another rebound, and a foul is called on Bethune-Cookman. That's on Scott. That was the MO for Howard in the first half. They out-rebounded Bethune-Cookman by double figures.
Now, Coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis, she has a decision to make. This is her second leading scorer now with 4 fouls. And Brown, do you leave her on the floor because she has been such a presence on the inside, or does she have to take a seat for the afternoon as well?
Brown with 4. Golden with 4. Both are out there as the free throw is missed from Moore. And now Brown will come out. Alyssa Jones getting some time. The freshman from Tampa, Florida. One more coming here from Moore. She's shooting 75% from the foul line. Howard, the best free throw shooting team in the MEAC.
You see Coach Vanessa Blair-Lewis having to go deep into her bench. Alyssa Jones has only seen action in 7 games this season.
Here's Scott. Solid defense from Moore. And the Bison come away with it. You can tell they're starting to feel that victory. 53-37. Shot is blocked. Johnson with it. The kick out with 20 to shoot. Edmond can take her time.
Good job by Edmond to bring the ball out right there and run that horn set. Try to find something off of this play.
Edmond, 23 points, 5 3-pointers, 3 to shoot. Johnson, the runner with the right hand. She's a left-handed player. On the other end, it's the Wildcats. They need buckets. They need them quick. The lengthy Johnson on their leading scorer this year, Angel Golden. She's got 5 points today. Has battled foul trouble. Golden looking to work on Williams. Golden in the paint. Bounce pass. Good feed and a foul is called on Johnson. That's okay. No easy layups. A couple free throws coming here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, like you said, that's okay. I'd rather the foul shooter to be Alyssa Jones, who has only shot. She's 2 for 2 from the free throw line this season, so that's okay. She hasn't been to the stripe too much.
So here's Jones. Hits the first free throw. Well, 3 for 3. What we know about her, she's a pretty good free throw shooter. Bison on top, 53-38. Howard trying to go to 2-1 in conference play against one of the tougher opponents they'll face in the MEAC this year. As the second free throw is missed, Fitzgerald Greer with the rebound. Fitzgerald Greer the pick, the download feed to Johnson. No look pass on the other end of Moore, and she goes to the free throw line. Tariah Johnson, the confidence the sophomore has is impressive.
Yeah, she's in there throwing no-look passes and stuff like that. And she attacks the basket at will. Shots don't always fall, but what I like about her is she stays with it and she's very aggressive.
Give credit to the Bison. They've not let up as Moore's free throw rims out. And we'll have the men's game to follow. Bethune-Cookman, they were the preseason conference favorites on the men's side. As the second free throw is good. They take on Howard. Both the women's team and the men's team, a lot of road games over the past couple weeks. They'll be happy to return to South Florida. Golden tries to cross over. Waiting for it is Fitzgerald Greer, then she turned it over.
Great defense. Hold on to the ball for another split second. She probably could have found Ayanna Williams. I know she was trying to get the layup for her teammate, but she could have held on to that one for a bit longer.
Angel Golden shot rims out, just hasn't been her day. A couple putbacks are missed by Jones. And now Edmond the rebound. Bethune-Cookman, really efficient team, not known for pushing it, kind of in an uncomfortable spot here, where they have to up the tempo down by 16. And Ayanna Williams really carried her team in that first half. Now Edmond, she's been the story in the second half. It's been the Howard defense that has limited the best shooting team in the conference to 28% from the field. Edmond, though, has been hot. That one's off. Kind of a consolation victory for Howard, though. They take the entire shot clock. And the Bison take over. Last touch by Bethune-Cookman. As there's some discussion about who the ball belongs to. Howard up by 16.
I think they're having some discussion about if there's supposed to be another media timeout or not. The ref is saying that they've already had the media of the half, so I'm sorry, of the quarter.
I think he's saying they used it at the 9:18 mark when there was an early timeout for Howard. Here's Edmond, another open look. This one's long. He's had a lot of good looks in the bucket today. Williams, with the clock being her friend, wisely pulls out. See if she can take about 10-15 seconds off here. Johnson at the corner. Edmond getting space. A little bit short on the runner. Walker the rebound. Up ahead to Golden. Golden altered by Johnson. Williams, like a car, flying to the paint, dumps it off, and Moore lays it in.
Golden must have heard those footsteps running her down, because that was a hard miss, and a rare hard miss by Golden. Thought she was going to get an easy 2 on that last Bethune-Cookman possession.
Walker fakes like she's going off the pick and draws a foul. That's on Johnson. Only the second foul for the Bison in this fourth quarter. So Howard looking like they're going to go to 2-1 in conference, leading 56-38. This hasn't been Bethune-Cookman's day, but you know this Wildcats team, this will be an exception to how good they are in terms of shooting.
They'll definitely bounce back, and is an exception, but good teams, they're going to have the good, the bad, and you keep on rolling. Conference is a long slate. It's all about who wins the ring at the end of the season.
That's White. And it's taken away by Johnson. Another good defensive play for the Bison.
A great defensive play to block that shot and save it from going out of bounds.
Now Williams will hold. Crowd starting to show their approval for this Howard team. What an effort for them on both ends. I mean, Bison only shooting 29%. They've been great on the offensive glass, and they've really clamped down defensively. Johnson draws contact. They're going to say she pushed off offensive foul.
Johnson could have kept away from that foul had she not dipped that shoulder, stayed upright on attacking the basket on that one. But when you dip that shoulder in, refs are more prone to call that offensive foul call.
Both teams have played physical. That's led to 29% shooting from Howard, 26 from Bethune-Cookman. Angel Goldman, as Johnson's called for the foul, that's going to be her 4th. The second leading scorer in the conference. Only 5 points so far today. She's battled foul trouble. Sarah Edmond has had an incredible performance. 23 points, 5 threes. And then Ayanna Williams sparked the team in that first half.
Edmond has come alive in this game, and that's a play that Howard will continue to need from her.
Bison trying to get a good early conference win against one of the best teams in the MEAC. Golden gets to the paint. MEAC Player of the Year last year. The putback for Scott goes. Nice afternoon for Scott. She has 7. 2:40 as we tick down. Nice fake from Edmond from 16. Got it. Sarah Edmond. Another bucket.
That one dribble pull-up is really Edmond's bread and butter. She just flows and has a bounce in her shot when she gets to her one dribble pull-up.
Sarah Edmond with 25. Now Scott. Bryant the rebound. And Williams can slow things up. What does this do for a team's confidence to come out and play a game like this if you're a player for Howard?
If you're a player for Howard, you're thinking that if we can beat the team that's projected to finish second, we can play with anybody in this conference. They have showed up and showed out today. And one thing that I credit them for, it was no let up. We said that would be a key to winning this game, is just continue to push throughout the halves, and that is one thing that they have done from start to finish of this game. And even with 2 minutes left, we haven't seen any let up out of the Bison.
2 free throws with 2 minutes left. Kirsten Moore has been great off the bench.
Shooting 1.
One more coming up here for Moore.
Second attempt. Substitution for the Bison. 0-0, Kelsey.
Moore checks out. Big minutes today off the bench for her. Kelsey Jacobs gets some time. We saw her in the first quarter. 19-point lead for Howard, their biggest so far, with 1:53 left. They've held Angel Golden to just 5 points. Sarah Edmond, 25 points, 8 rebounds for her. She scored 17 of those points in the second half. And now a timeout taken. Howard on top, 59-40.
The Lady Wildcats comes with 1 minute 40 seconds remaining in the contest.
Give a bad shot to a bad hurt, bad shot. The new celebration rules are in place and Pepsi is all for it. So what's big man Joe Staley doing? He's celebrating a touchdown he didn't score. The sad truth is the odds of a guy like Joe scoring a real touchdown are the same as 0. But it's fun to dream, isn't it? Even if those dreams are delusional. Hey, there's no I in impossible, Joe. There is, there's 2. Shh.
Bison on top, 59-40, 19-point lead, 140 left. It's been a complete game for the Bison. While they haven't shot great, they've rebounded well, and they've really been stellar on the defensive end. Brown in the paint, and a travel is called. Amani Bryant continues to be a menace down low. Really good sign for Howard, seeing Amani Bryant, the junior out of Berkeley, California, coming alive over these past couple games. She has 13 rebounds, 6 points. If she can find 4 points here, she'll have back-to-back double-doubles.
Find my teammates. I'm looking for her right now. You want to see that success out of your teammates. Also, don't force it, but I think she can manage to get her another basket, if anything.
It looks like they call a pick and roll for her. Edmond with 1 to shoot, heaves it up, it's short. Edmond leading all scorers today with 25 points. As Alyssa Jones is back in for the Wildcats. Amani Ball getting her first time, the sophomore from Maryland. One of a couple players from the state on the Bethune-Cookman team. No points in the second half for their leading scorer, Golden. Harris misfiring. The defense has been stellar. Just 18 points in this second half for Bethune-Cookman. Williams, 14 to shoot. Gets it to go. Her first points in the second half after a great start. She has 14.
Credit the little guard. Also has 7 rebounds, getting in there and making sure she's grabbing some boards.
Everybody rebounding today. Bryant's got 13, Edmond 8, 7 for Williams. McCants has 4. And it's a complete victory for the Howard Bison as they close this one out. Big round of applause from the fans. They win 61-40, and the Bison take out Bethune-Cookman to move to 2-1 in the conference season. The Wildcats fall to 1-1. What a performance for Howard. 2 big keys coming in. You got to out-rebound a good team in the Wildcats, and you have to stop their best scorer in Angel Golden. Golden just 5 points today.
And that is her lowest scoring performance that she has had this season. Earlier on this season, University of South Florida held her to 9 points. And then today, the Bison's defense shows up just like Coach Ty Grace wanted, and they hold her to just 5.
The Bison could see this Bethune-Cookman team. They'll see them once more in the regular season, possibly even in the postseason. What are the takeaways, if you're Howard, from this game?
The takeaways is that defensive effort that we've been stressing throughout this whole broadcast. They never let up. Even when they were struggling with their shooting woes, their defense is what kept them in this game and kept them going. And another thing that I would take away from this, if I'm Howard, is poise. They didn't get rattled when Bethune-Cookman went on their runs. There were times where their offense sped up a little bit, but that's bound to happen. They continued to slow it up, do what was working from them, and not go away with what was working.
And you see Sarah Edmond right there. What a performance, number 5 for Howard. 25 points. You have to think she's probably our player of the game.
She is for sure our player of the game. The junior showed up today for her team, and this is the type of performance that she needed in conference play. Her first big game in conference with 25 points, where she was just held to 8 points in their last outing against UMass. So she has to be feeling pretty confident, but most of all happy that she had this type of performance and her team won.
We have one more game today. The Howard men's team takes on Bethune-Cookman in about a half hour. That's on the Flow Hoops, so stick around for that one. For Takira Carter, I'm Ryan Pierce. Thanks for watching. The Howard Bison move to 2-1 in conference play. They take out Bethune-Cookman 61-40 on the Bison Sports Network.